I said he nailed the introduction, and I really appreciate the welcome here. I am fired up. I'm fired up because we have the chance. We have the chance to make the first and the best recommendation to the rest of the country on who we think should be the next president of the United States. Okay, we're all here supporting Ted Cruz for president. Now, you've given me some wonderful opportunities. I'm grateful for every minute that I've had the privilege to represent you, not only in the Iowa Senate, but in the United States Congress, every minute. I go to work every day grateful that God's given me this gift and testing me out every day. And what more can I do each day? Loan me a little measure of that wisdom so I can go forth and serve your will. And let me do so with joy. And that's what we're all doing here today. We're serving with joy, God and country and state and nation and family and faith. All of this wrapped up in one candidate. And I have had the privilege of getting to know 17 presidential candidates in this cycle. You know, never in the history of the Republic has either party ever fielded such a deep talent pool as the Republican Party has this time around. Never. In fact, it isn't even close. And I said a year ago, I'd draw a name out of the hat and say, Mr. President. Second name and say, Mr. Vice President, and then dump the hat out and arrange it and say, this is the cabinet. I changed my mind on that several months ago because I want to decide. I don't want to just pull a name out of a hat. This is a high responsibility that we have here. And I have this wonderful access and opportunity to evaluate. So I've known the candidates personally and professionally, in most cases, both ways. I've had an opportunity to poke them and test them and kick the tires and watch them and work with them and see how they react, and I put my staff to work to analyze where they are in the positions. We go back to their position papers, look at their history, see who stood there and who's fought when the time came, and who feels our spirit in their bones that would carry our values to the Oval Office. And Ted Cruz, I came to one conclusion. Ted Cruz is the one man who really does. So one day in 2013, it was June 19th, I couldn't get a debate in the House of Representatives on immigration, even though Marco Rubio and others were pushing the Gang of Eight bill in the Senate at the time. We wanted to push back and fight that down. So what I could do was rent a stage and a microphone. I held an all-day press conference outside the Capitol because that's what I could get done. And we invited a number of senators to come into the fight with us. House members came, 100 senators over there. How many of them came? You know the answer, one. Who was that? Ted Cruz came and jumped into the fight and jumped up on that stage, and for 45 minutes he delivered chapter and verse of where I believe we stand on the immigration issue. Secure the border, enforce the law, and bring about the respect for the rule of law again, and protect the American workers and protect Americans. That was all there then in 2013. It's all there now. In fact, it's all there in an 11-page document that is part of, go to tedcruz.org. There's an 11-page immigration policy there. He has said to you that Jeff Sessions and Steve King had a lot to do with that. I'm here telling you I'm not disagreeing with Ted Cruz, except it's his position. It's his position. He owns it, and it's a good one, and I stand with him on his immigration position. The Constitution. I carry a Constitution in my pocket every day. Whenever we have a pledge or the national anthem, I put my hand over my heart. I put my little finger down on that Constitution just to tie it together to my heart. And it's been there next to my heart for years and years. I finally figured out what makes Ted Cruz tick, how I understand him. And we talked about a lot of things. We did a 5-hour dinner one night and went through all of these things, faith and family and Constitution and rule of law and American history and the pillars of American exceptionalism, and all of that fit up perfectly. A full spectrum constitutional Christian conservative, Ted Cruz. But I didn't understand him completely until he said one day, well, I was raised with the Bible and the Constitution at the kitchen table. Then I understood. Because I was raised with the Code of Iowa and the Constitution at the kitchen table and the Bible on the end table. I think he has an advantage over me when it comes to that because his Bible is on the kitchen table, not the end table. But I understood when you grew up with that in your bones what that means. Now I know for sure that when the door gets closed on the Oval Office after all the advisors have been kicked out and it's life or death decisions, and maybe the life or death decision of the Republic, I know that Ted Cruz is going to make his decision based upon our principles, and he's going to ask God for that final guidance. And so I've said that I am a full-spectrum constitutional Christian conservative, and I've served in Congress for 13 years, and I believe that that definition that I give is an umbrella that we all fit under here. We'd all call ourselves full-spectrum constitutional Christian conservatives. And I want to say to you that all of you have a common belief that I have. I'm going to take a risk here and tell you I don't think anybody will stand up and say that I've ever let you down. And I'm not letting you down this time. I'm 100% confident that Ted Cruz will never let us down, that his foundational values are ours. We will see a strong national defense. We'll see a pro-life president who will make the right appointments to the Supreme Court and all the federal bench. We will see this Constitution restored. We will see the pillars of American exceptionalism refurbished, and our country will be brought forth again. And here it is, that if you look and see how bad Jimmy Carter was, it set the stage for Ronald Reagan, how great Ronald Reagan was. Well, Barack Obama is a lot worse than Jimmy Carter. Just how great is Ted Cruz going to be? God bless you all. We're coming to caucus for Ted Cruz.